Hello again, and happy Wednesday afternoon. We are going to continue investigating this crash. We got to a point where I think a repro is like 100% of the time, and we're just going to go delete a bunch of code until we can get it to happen with as little as possible. I want to pass this off to the Godot team, and hopefully they can figure out what's going on. But yeah, we don't want them to go through a bunch of extra stuff. So yeah, let's keep pruning stuff out and see what happens. So I don't think any of this would be needed anymore. Do we need any of this code? Let's find out. Where do we call initialize game? From here. And what if we just didn't? Does it repro? My controller is plugged in. My luck stat is set to -3 in real life. So we wait 8 seconds and see if it crashes. Hey, Merritt, how you doing? Happy afternoon. Okay, so it doesn't crash. So something in here is necessary. I am guessing it is not this line. And I think initialize starting state requires the farming game to be set in the zone, or else this won't work. Yeah, oh wait, it still doesn't crash. Wait, well, we need to knit the base of this? This might actually be important. Yeah, this might actually be important. Huh. Maybe I should annotate this with this line is necessary for the repro. Yeah, wow, now it crashes. Interesting. It's very interesting because literally all it's doing is setting the audio system. I think it's something about this having inheritance though. This line is necessary for the repro. Well, let's delete everything else that's not. Like this seems like it's necessary. This probably isn't. This probably isn't. This probably isn't. Yeah, none of this stuff I think should be. I tried removing earlier, but I didn't know what was needed. I don't think we need this. I don't think we need any of this. Yeah, I think all that can be deleted. All right, now that causes some issues here, but we delete this stuff too. And does the repro still happen? Oops, I need to delete more. Cannot wait to get to the bottom of this. Yeah, can't wait. This is going to be great. Let's hope it works. These issues are super easy to fix because we're just cutting stuff out. All right, does it still crash? If it does, we can check this in. We can go delete other entire sub games. It's nuts. And then I wonder if we can repro this without a controller. So it did not crash. I've changed something important. This is ridiculous. I wonder if it's another virtual function that I overrode. Maybe we need to override 2 of them. And maybe I accidentally deleted one. Because yeah, this is not crashing now. So something I changed causes it to no longer crash. Well, what does subgame define? Just this and raise finished game. And the subgame ID, yeah. Something weird's happening. No crashes now. All right, so one of the changes I made caused it to not crash. Let's put functions back in. I'll just put them all back in at this point. There. Yeah. Now what's the problem here? Wait, dialogue completed. No, that part doesn't matter. Did we figure out the crash? No. And hey, Vibe Hub. This has been so tricky because we remove code that doesn't look like it's necessary and it changes how the crash works. And I don't understand why it's happening. And all I'm trying to do is cut this down to its minimum possible size. goodness, this is tough. Yeah, it has been pretty frustrating. Like, do we need this here? Let's try running with just that. Let's put that in. It's not like we're using it, but we don't need to use it apparently. We just need it to exist in the code. The thing is, I got to the point where I could repro it at least like pretty close to all the time. And it requires 4 things to be true that just sound nuts. Like there's no connection to one another, which makes me think this is just a timing issue or how much memory is being used or something. I don't know what. All right, let's put this in too. Crash Saga continues. Happy 80 streams, Blob. Send off on a goal and just let it run wild. I did that yesterday on Extra High Thinking and it couldn't figure out what to do. But I found out some more information since then. So maybe I'll try again with AI at some point. Man, even this isn't working. What is going on? Do we need these here? So these are like load-bearing parts of the repro. Oh, man. I don't like this. There's just too much complexity here. And it's too long to figure out if this thing is actually going to crash or not. It'd be so nice. Okay, so yeah. So something in this function is actually necessary. Like we need to keep some of these. I don't know what exactly. None of them are being hit. It doesn't matter if they're being hit. It just matters that they exist. Did I ever make a shortcut for this? I should. It should be like F11 or something. F11 does something by default. I don't know what it is. All right, well, we have to go find that out because this is kind of annoying. What am I doing? I'm pressing F11 over here. Step into. So this causes it to debug. Is F5 used for anything? Yes. Wait, of course it is. Maybe Command F4? Yeah, Command F4 would work. Okay, so jump to source. There. That way I can go from the diff over to here. I like that. I wonder if there's a way to jump back to the diff. All right, so what did we learn? That this is necessary, but it didn't just crash when I ran it now. How many times is it crashing now? There's one crash. I want to see if it's pretty consistent. I haven't changed much. I didn't change really almost anything. Did it crash that time too? Yep, it did. It's not an exact number of seconds. It's at least about 7, it seems. So I have it randomizing between 5 and 10, which is why it's printing a very specific number. It's just a random number, or sorry, between 7 and 10. So it crashed in each of these cases. So it's not very specific. It's just somewhat specific. But yeah, you can see handle crash, and handle crash. Yeah. So it happened all 3 times here after I deleted some of the code. So I'm just checking in every single time I can get rid of any code, basically. Yeah. And I removed very little in this case. Remove more code, still crashes consistently. What I want to find out is how do I prune down this file anymore? Like, can I get rid of these, for example, and then run this? Should I just connect the same listener like 100 times? So Vibe, you know what's nuts? Part of this, take a look at this. This file is not used anywhere. And this is the entire file right here that you can see. It's doing nothing. If I comment out these lines, the crash won't happen. If I comment out these lines, the crash won't happen. If I have just 4 rich text labels, the crash won't happen. I need at least 5 to be in here, even though this code is never used. And I don't understand it. And you'd think it's just a timing issue, but it's like I can run 5 times and it's consistent. It'll either happen or not happen based on whether I have that there. And again, this is another one of those weird things. Like I just commented out something that is also not used. And it's causing an issue. Although I don't know if this is going to consistently not repro. Yeah, I commented out these 3 listeners. They're not used for anything. But they're apparently important for the repro because now it hasn't crashed. It's been 2 runs so far. This is the 3rd one. also didn't crash. So like, yeah, there's just something unusual going on. So in this particular case, we are looking at these functions. Like maybe we need some call to exist to set current zone on next frame. No, we already have a call for that, don't we? I want to examine this. Yeah, no crashes. I want to examine this. Okay, let's go take a look. So what do these functions do? Because the functions still exist, but now nothing's even trying to use them. Is there anything we can glean from this? And player tried going north as the last one. Okay, so what are all the calls that we have here? Start dialogue. Audio system play sound. Remove sidekick. This. I'm not going to get the booleans. I don't think that matters. And this one. This could be important. Yeah, this could be important. On player try to go north. Okay, so let's go get that back in, but the other one's gone. Does this repro again? Because this one actually has to do with yarn spinner, so maybe it matters. I wonder if yarn spinner has any reflection. Because that could be causing this. Hey, Pressel. I should go take a look. Game add-on yarn RGI reflect. Well. What might this be for? Can't I just comment this out and then we should be able to see what it might be for? Yeah, I should probably just do this in here in Rider. Yeah, so it's still not reproing the crash. Let me run this over here again. How are you doing, Pressel? I have certainly been better myself. All right, so reflection. What are they using it for? And could this be the problem here somehow? Yeah, so they use it in 5 different files. And if I comment this out, we should see exactly where it's failing. Is this crashing, by the way? It's not crashing. Yeah, something weird. Like we need these to be here for some reason. Community center and sidekick dialogue. Something in here. Okay, you know what we should try? Here's what we should try. Because this would help me quite a lot. If I just take this code and put this into tried going north and this code too. So does it matter that we have 3 listeners, or does it matter that we have this code in one of the listeners? Hey, Wix, welcome back. Trying to get HTML to run locally on my iPhone to get to work. What about you? Oh, man. Oh, yeah, I just deleted this. There we go. I have been spending 12 hours trying to get this crash to have a minimal repro. And I also have not gotten it to work. It is quite frustrating. Hey, ABC. Yeah, episode 5. That would be, yeah. Crash Strikes Back. So it doesn't repro unless I have the 3 listeners. So did the contents of the listener matter at all? If I delete this again and I go back to here and I put these back in and then I delete the contents of the listeners, does that matter? Yeah, mini dumps or crash dumps? No, I don't. So it's still not crashing. It's like I need the code to be there and the listener to be there. Why? And why can't they all just be in one function if it's not being called? Is this crashing now? It's not crashing. Man, I don't get it. I don't get why this is the case. So right now we have this code. Right here. If I have those 3 listeners set up and their functions are defined with the code in them, it crashes. If I remove the code from the listeners, it doesn't crash. If I put all of the code into a single listener, it doesn't crash. Well, if I like cut down to a single listener, but put all 3 functions worth of code there, doesn't crash. Godot's not calling these, just to be clear. These functions are never being hit. None of them. So the contents of them shouldn't matter, but they matter for some reason. But yeah, on player entered community center, sidekick dialogue, and tried going north. I'll put a breakpoint in all 3. None of them will get hit. But if I comment them out, then it changes how this thing runs. I wonder if this class just needs to be big enough. Like that's the problem. Or I wonder if there's some reflection thing going on here that we need to look into. So yeah, none of those breakpoints got hit and the game crashes. So it's not running this code, but if I delete the code, it'll never crash. I still cannot make sense of that. But yeah, let's go look at the reflection stuff. All right, so here's the first one. If we comment that out, we get an error down here. Workaround for this issue, what is this? Failed to unload assemblies. Please check this issue for more information. It sounds important. How does this work? Get the assembly of the JSON serializer options. Update handler type. Clear cache method. Update handler type. Get method clear cache. And invoke it? Okay, so they're just clearing the JSON cache there. That's fine. And what is this? Function declaration receiver. This must get used somewhere, right? Not being used? And anything else? That's it in here? Function declaration receiver. We'll try using this. Compile all scripts. Get all function declarations found in the Unity project. Well, they didn't change that comment. All right, let's put a breakpoint here. Because this has to get run. Oh wait, it's gonna fail because I commented out the reflection part. But there we go. All right, now it should get hit. Because it should compile it. No, it doesn't. Okay. Well, maybe it's because this is only once you're in the editor. Yeah, that's fine. All right, let's just ignore that for now then. All right, function declaration. What is going on? Function declaration. I can't find it. Here it is. All right, let's just turn this off. All right, well, that was file number 1. File number 2 is this one. And what do they use reflection for? I command dispatcher. Oh, because it doesn't know about this now? Command registration? I do. Oh, no, I don't register commands anymore. I have commented out code for it, but I deleted it all, I think. What was it called? I don't see it here. I'll see it over here though in the repo. Farm game.cs. Command. Here it is. Add command handler. So we don't have any of these anymore, right? No. This is all inside their code. Any of my code in here? No, and I can also verify like this. Game source add command. There's one, but it's not in code that I'm running anymore. Yeah. Now, would that matter? I don't know. Let's go find out. If I try running this, we should find the file I was just on. Yeah, here it is. I want to find everything else this file does that uses reflection. Command registration. Maybe I should put a breakpoint here. On the same crash? Yeah, it's on the same crash. And hey, Krasner. Method info method. Parameter name. This shouldn't really matter. This is all for the command stuff anyway, right? Get full method name. Yeah, I don't think this matters. Add command handler. Create converters. Maybe we'll put a breakpoint there. I want to find out what this stuff is doing. Library registration proxy. What might you be for? Doesn't do anything. All right, well, that's this whole file. Let's go try this out. Does this ever get hit? I'm trying to figure out, because like reflection would point to this as being a problem, I guess. None of those functions got hit though. Huh. It crashed. All right, let's go delete those breakpoints. Can you do that from here? Yeah. Okay, next up. Is this one. Action registration. So let's cut out reflection from this. This is just to give us add command handler. Yeah, I don't think this matters. I'll put this one back in and we'll just put a breakpoint here. Now let's go to the next one. All right, this one's action registration, which is inside of what? An interface. Okay, so this one doesn't matter because whatever implements this needs to also pull in system.reflection. And this is the final one, yarn spinner plugin. So let's say we get rid of this one. What does this do? If tools get load context and on unloading clear the JSON cache. Does this get hit? Why is this yellow? Strange. And that's it. Okay, yeah. All right, well, I put breakpoints on a couple of things. I guess let's go try it out. Man, what if it is from that clear JSON cache thing? Yeah, that'd be funny. I don't know if that breakpoint is going to work. I don't know if it's going to get hit, even if it does work. Did it get hit? Because it says if tools. That might not even be true. And these are yellow anyway. Oh, now it's red. All right, let's put a breakpoint there. It's editor only? Yeah, I believe it should be editor only. Oh, wait, no, it did get hit. Really? Can we put a breakpoint in there? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Does it get hit? It does not. Although it also didn't crash. Maybe this gets hit when it crashes. I kind of doubt it though. Also, I could just set the breakpoint inside of, yeah, not there. Inside of here. Something else might call this, although I kind of doubt it. Yeah, this is the only call. And it does not get hit. And it crashed in this case too. Yeah, I was gonna say that could be kind of interesting. Although I think if this caused a failure, we'd see it in C# code. This is not native code. Huh, interesting. Interesting. So nothing that I see with reflection has helped. Did I talk about this anywhere? No. Other things I looked into. I checked out every instance, every usage of reflection. Doesn't seem like any of those code paths are hit. And it's not like listing all static functions or something or checking the size of functions. If we were seeing something like that, there could be a pretty big issue. But yeah, there's no other thing that uses a reflection here anyway, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's just those 5, and then that's it. Wait, assembly info.cs. I don't think this matters. And wasn't there one other place I didn't look at? Oh, the other assembly info. Yeah, this wouldn't matter. Give a runtime exception or type load exception. Yeah, yeah. All right, so where do we stand with this? I want to go cut out everything in the add-ons folder that I just changed, which is everything. And now we should be back to crashing. I don't think I realized Godot supported non-main thread debugging. Yeah, the thing that Godot doesn't allow, as far as I know, is updating engine state from outside of the main thread. I think. Yeah, so now we have a crash here. But yeah, you can have as many threads running as you want. What do we do? I can't prune any part of farm game, it seems. It's almost like all this code is necessary, but it's not. Maybe we can delete that stuff now. Let's try again. I don't know if a using statement that is unused in the file can ever cause an issue. It might be able to, because maybe it just points to something else in the build tree, and then that file needs to be pulled in. It's still crashing though. So yeah, I'll just say remove some more code. I could probably delete this sort of thing. I mean, let's try to just get rid of everything that we don't need for sure. Yeah, like this doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. Then where we fetch this down here, this isn't needed at all. What else? Field can be made read-only. We never use this, right? Start dialogue after warm-up. Isn't this never needed? Yeah, I don't think this is ever needed. I'm going to try deleting all this code. Hopefully it still crashes. Let's go try it. Trying to find a needle in a haystack. Yeah, but even with the crash, like looking through this at a low level, it was very, very challenging to find anything important. Change fill amount. I don't think the energy meter even matters. I just delete this. Like I still have the dev build of Godot I could run this in. And we could set a breakpoint there and we'll find out exactly what's causing this. Well, not sorry. We'll find out like the symptom pretty much. This stopped crashing. This is what I don't get. We changed like something totally unrelated and it stops crashing. Like the energy meter should have nothing to do with this. And then the other changes that I made were getting rid of practically nothing. Maybe calling is instance valid on the yarn spinner canvas layer from dispose is important. Because I don't believe that this other stuff is important. Yeah, it doesn't crash. All right, let's put this back in. Maybe we do need a reference to this. I don't know. Yeah, sure. Let's put it back. All right, so it didn't crash before. Let's see if it crashes now. This file is huge and every part somehow contributes to the repro? No, it doesn't. It's not crashing at least. Well, this could be a coincidence. Or it could be other code that I've deleted. Yeah. All right, I mean, we throw these things back in, the start dialog calls. Now we have the whole file back to what it was. Now it's going to crash. So start dialog is somehow needed. By the way, Wix, please do try to be mindful of segmenting. Yeah, if you don't mind just typing all your messages as one, that'd be best. But add a finalizer in Architect Office and get a breakpoint there. How do you even make a C# finalizer? Oh, okay. Just like C++. Finalizing. Yeah, if this even gets hit, I guess I'd be surprised, unless it happens on the type and not on instances. But it should be instances that get finalized. Yeah, this never gets hit. Which is why I don't understand why this even matters here. Oh, wait, what's that? Oh, a call to finalizer is implicitly translated to the following code. Okay, I see. Yeah. So they're pretty much the same. Garbage collector decides when to call it. Garbage collector checks for objects that are no longer being used. So wait, when this crashes, it'd be a problem? If I can even get this to crash again. All I've deleted from here is a constant float. I don't think that would have an impact on this. And yet, now it's not crashing. Make it crash. I'm going to see if it even crashes. I know I'm not running from inside Rider right now, but yeah, like, is it just not going to crash at all anymore? No, it's not going to crash at all. Wow. Ridiculous. What? I changed like 2 lines of code. I defined a constant, and I've got some code inside of energy meter. I guess let's just put it back to how it was then. It's not going to crash. It's not going to crash, huh? Yeah, it's not going to crash. I find this so baffling. All right, so you go back to where you were, and farming game goes back to where it was. Now we have no code changes, right? No, we have one change here. Well, let's delete that too. So now all we have is the new finalizer, which means it should crash as soon. Wait, what's this? Oh, a new line. All right, just delete this. Yeah, the new line shouldn't matter. All right, so we run this. Mysterious crashes from third-party thing. Yeah. Hey, Darkstorm. I am just baffled by this. I don't even have my breakpoint here anymore. Or do I? Oh, I do. Yeah, so even in a crash, this doesn't get called. Which makes sense. We're never instantiating one of these. Surprised your mental's still there. And maybe a new line does matter, yeah. Hey, Cyber and Viper. All right. So what do we do? First of all, what if we do delete this and then in the energy meter, we cut out whatever we tried using this for and we just set this to 1? Like, does the crash happen? Oh, there's one other place where this is modified. I don't know what number this used to be. It doesn't really matter because none of this code is hit. No, it crashed. It just didn't break into the finalizer because we're never creating that object. Rewrite in Rust. Probably wouldn't have problems. Yeah, so weirdly, this is the other thing I just don't get. We had it crashing consistently, and now it doesn't crash at all. And all I've done, and this is what blows my mind, all I've done is I deleted a constant float and I replaced the users of that constant float with the number 1. Oh, wait, the energy meter is actually being used. Okay, never mind. I thought this code wasn't being used. So the code being used means that this actually might have an impact, which means that it might have to do with the energy meter code somehow. Maybe because of a tween. So if I set this to 0.2, it should crash. That'd be funny. Yeah, I set this. Yep. This and this to 0.2. It might be because of this. Actually, I never paid attention to the energy meter. I don't think this is probably relevant, but maybe it is. Yeah, energy is set to 1. So it never even starts wiggling. And then it doesn't guarantee a crash, I guess. But it never crashes when it's set to 1. At that point, you can't exclude anything. Yeah, I still don't. It doesn't make sense. I just don't get it. No, it's not even crashing now. It's like having this reference the farming game was the problem. So I set this back, or maybe it's just a constant float. I don't know. Let's just try this. Yeah, there. Does it crash now? Is this class like the perfect size to make it have a problem? It doesn't. No, that's not even how constant floats work, as far as I understand. When it makes the intermediate language, it just plugs in the number. But now it crashed. Wow, didn't crash before that. I put in this constant float and it crashes. So it doesn't matter that I'm using it even. It just matters that this is defined here. Looks like size of types matters. Yeah, it must be. It must be that. But what does that play into if not for something like reflection? Yeah, constants just exist at IL. But look, this is crashing now. Oh, wait, no, maybe constants only exist in the intermediate language in a release build. In a debug build, it might exist here still so that you could like reflect on it and see that it's there. I don't know. Okay, it crashed, what, 1 time? Yeah, it only crashed once. So I guess that's not really conclusive of anything. Although in that crash, it took 9.5 seconds before that. So maybe it was just a longer crash time. Like if I go back to main and I change the 7 to 10 range that we had here to 9 and then run this again. I want to just have it run 5 times. Because I am curious if this does have an impact or if this is a red herring too. Yeah, I see. Yeah. All right, so it crashed once. Yeah, part of this could just be the randomness of testing with different times. Because even though I don't know the cause of this yet, I think what's happening is when we choose to run, there's some like time frame we need to hit. And if we're outside of that time frame, the repro won't happen. And that time frame changes based on what code we have. So sometimes it's like around 7 seconds, sometimes around 9 seconds. But now it looks like it's crashing pretty much every single time, right? Yeah. So 1 crash, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, now it's running the 5th time. So it's crashed 100% of the time so far. And it's going to run again and probably crash again. Yeah. Then, just to see, because it's probably not this, but I comment this line out and build again. And then run another 5 times. Is there a stack trace? Could you break in somewhere from exit tree? This is all happening in native code. So we'd have to connect a low-level debugger to it. And we can do that. And yeah, maybe it's worth doing it again just to make sure this is the same thing. But you can see I ran it 5 times. It crashed each time. And now I took out a constant float. And now it's not crashing. What is this? We tested by capping max FPS. Does it still happen at different times? I haven't tried capping the FPS, or well, I haven't tried changing it. I think the FPS is capped at 60 right now, but I'm not totally sure. Is it because it's unused? I don't have an explanation. I don't know what could cause this. So yeah, maybe we connect to this again. But yeah, this is just the clear as daylight sort of problem that we have with this. Run it 5 times, it crashes every time. Take out a constant float, it doesn't crash at all. Like what would this impact? Feels like a CLR JIT issue to me. Yeah, I mean, one thing we could do is change it to use like .NET 8 and see if this still happens. So we put this back in and then try building it. Problem is we might be using some .NET 10 constructs. What are these errors? Yeah, we are using a .NET 10 construct in the form of extension like this. Can you connect Xcode to it to check? Maybe the crash time slot is happening earlier or later, but removing and re-adding a constant flow goes through a code path we don't know about in the native side. It'd just be weird. The native side shouldn't be aware of my C# code. It's not like I compile it through the native side. Yeah, so all the extension stuff fails, and that's it. So I could rewrite this to use the .NET 8 form of extension. Can it do this for me? Or we just don't use extensions, I guess. Ryder has a quick fix, yeah. All right, let's go back to this and set this to 10 then. And now this will work, and then we can convert it to classic extension methods. So we do that in canvas item, node, random, and camera. Now we search for extension, and there shouldn't be anything left. String, I didn't do string. Oh, I had 3 more. Wow. Oh, what's going on there? What? Why can't I change this one? Huh, that's strange. Well, what if I build first? I mean, I could just do this one by hand, but it is a little bit strange that we can't do this. Is it because there's no actual method underneath? I'm going to copy paste this in here. Return new 1, 1. I shouldn't even need this here. It's still not letting me change this. What? All right, I'll get that. Well, I don't remember the old syntax, so let's just go look at one of these and just copy paste it. So it's a public static class still, and then this changes to something like this. Yeah, all right, easy. All right, so public static int bus index. And return that. All right, now we go into the CS project file and make it take .NET 8 and then debug this. Oh, fields don't work either? No. The property extension which doesn't exist? Oh, I see. This is going to be annoying. We got to back this by an actual field. Private meter type, we'll just put it as underscore field. And set it to meter type dot life. I gotta do this in another place after this. All right, and then the last one's over here. No, there should be one other one. I could have sworn I used field somewhere else too. So private farm item ID field equals what? None, I guess. Should get set to none by default. Okay, does it build? No, because we still use field here. Oh, because fill amount is another one of these. Public or private float fill field. Okay. Can we run it now? Yeah, this needs to be changed to like get bus index or something, or a function. And all of those have to change. All right, whatever. It's not hard to do. Oh, good, another one of these fields. I knew there were more of these. And what's this one set to by default? Nothing. They say game dev is easy. They're liars. All right, what is this? Oh yeah, you can't do conditional assignment anymore. Isn't that fun? All right, so if axe slot is not null, then do that. Hang on 1 sec. All right, back. Use newer languages, features, and older runtimes. Well, I don't want to add other things into this because we're trying to figure this out for the sake of a repro. Although I suspect that this won't happen anymore once I try this. If empty slot is not null, then do this. Okay. Now what? It's going to find some other thing. So I don't know if this will still crash. I also don't remember where we came from to get to this point. And it's probably worth trying in .NET 10 with the old language features here just to see. Because yeah, that didn't crash, but I don't remember what we did inside a farming game. Apparently nothing. So let's run this a few times then. The timing might have changed though. So maybe instead of doing this from 9 to 10 seconds, I should be doing it from like 7 to 10 seconds. So will this ever crash? Seems like it won't. God, what do we do if this is a CLR issue? By the way, really, please do try to pay attention to the no segmenting rule. I am serious about this and do start timing people out. I know it might not seem important, and I know that a lot of people type like this in everyone else's chat or in Discord, but like, yeah, I don't like it. Okay, so no crashes. We could try changing the timing, but I think let's just try changing back to .NET 10 and making sure that it isn't some other construction that I'm doing here. So .NET 10, and then this. All right, so built, we run it again. This is with .NET 10. Like I said, though, I was just testing with this specific range of timings. So, well, I would expect this to crash now, at least some of the time. But the code is different. If it's not going to crash this way, it could point to it being something in the new syntax. I wonder how, let's try this. .NET version 10.0201. What are they up to? 10.0300. And what did they fix? And before that, they were up to 204. So they jumped from 204 to 300. So I probably missed what does that mean? 4 versions or something? Wait, what? Where do you find the change log? I'm a little bit confused. Release notes link. Oh, hey, there we go. Okay. Yeah, very small release notes. Okay, so I got to go find where we were. I'm just going to expand all these. because the SDKs don't correspond to those other versions. 10.0.201. So I want to go find 202. There it is. So release notes of this, and what, 2 more? No, just 1 more? Okay, so these 3. Notable changes. Cryptography stuff. .NET spoofing. I don't think these are problems. Not for me, at least, I mean. Security fix. Yeah, I don't think this is a problem either. This is like kind of the same as one of the last ones. 10.06 and 10.08 are kind of similar. But no, nothing. Nothing there seems important, and it never actually crashed. Yeah, it never crashed. Oh man, I didn't change any like semantics, right? It was just syntax. Why is this red? Why is that red? All next frame, node action. Argument type lambda expression is not assignable. I think this is maybe just needing to restart the IDE. I'm not positive about that though. Hey Bacon, can you stash your changes and reproduce a crash? Yeah, I could probably do that. I don't, at every time that I committed, I could reproduce it. So it should reproduce if I were to stash everything. But I don't think that would indicate anything necessarily. Yeah, this is no longer red. Okay, yeah. I want to just look through the rest of this stuff and see, is there anything that changed significantly? It's just syntax, right? Not that we're probably even calling half these functions. Yeah. This, I got rid of the floating point constant, but that doesn't matter. I might have accidentally changed semantics here, but I doubt this would have any effect. Set the timing back to 7 to 10, just in case it was a timing thing. Field, fill field, yeah. This is so crazy to me. Yeah, nothing really changed. Which also means that this is not just syntactic sugar. Although some parts of this, it might have been syntactic sugar for something that I just chose not to apply. Like now you can do a property question mark or yeah, dot field equals value. This is only, this is new. And the way I chose to collapse it was with an if statement, which like maybe they would have done something slightly different. I don't know. It's easy. You try minimizing your scene until it no longer crashes. Yeah, the problem is I end up deleting code that's completely unrelated and it still changes the output. So for example, up here at the top, with this here, it crashes 100% of the time. I comment this out and it doesn't crash anymore. Like that makes no sense to me. So something odd is going on. Yeah, oh, you know what else we could try here? I'm using .NET 10 still. Oh, I guess we're not getting into crash, so I can't test anything. I was gonna say, I wonder if the architect office thing still matters. And part of me wonders too, like, is it extensions that it doesn't like? Is it the conditional property setting thing that it doesn't like? I mean, we could revert some of these files selectively. I could also table all these or shelve all these or whatever they call it. Shelve silently. Isn't there a shelve not silently? Yeah, here we go. All right, commit message. Remove .NET 10 specific features. So what was it? It was extensions, conditionally setting fields of properties, or conditionally setting fields maybe. There was something else, wasn't there? Oh yeah, extension properties, syntax and properties. Race condition. There's probably some element of a race condition here too. It's hard to tell if it's an actual race or if it's something that is based on an event that I think is based on time. So as an example, let's say the problem is due to allocating 100 things and we allocate at roughly like 1 per second. So it takes roughly 100 seconds. So it seems like it's a race, but it's not really a race. It's not time based at all. And if we just allocated 100 things all at once, it would cause a problem. Like, I don't know. That could be what's happening. Yeah, only crashes when the seconds are odd. All right, so we can shelve these. Now they're not in this change at all anymore. And I can unshelve them whenever I want to. And now if I click this button, it should crash. I don't remember if it's 100% at this point, but let's try it. Okay, it did not crash. Does it crash over here? I should have no changes anymore. And I only committed when it crashes. Yeah, it just crashed there. This is running almost identically to how it runs in the IDE, except for here I don't pass in -- verbose. Yeah, so now it's crashing each time. In fact, it kind of makes me wonder, what if we did pass in -- verbose? Like, is that impacting the repro? Let's copy paste this. And title is verbose temp. Oh, that deleted the... There we go. Surely this is the stream. I have no certainty that we're going to solve this now. Okay, can still crash when it's verbose. So, okay, I'm going to dig into LLDB for another sec. Let's see. Hey, Matt. So we run this. This still looks fine. Yep, good. In fact, I already had this open over here, but still, okay, let's run this. Now, inside the prompt, we do this. And then run. Then repro, then backtrace. Yeah, let's just do that. The repro is automatic, so we shouldn't have to do anything. So it'll run. In some number of seconds, it's going to crash, which LLDB will catch. And then we can look at the backtrace. It did not crash. So we run it again. And we run it again and again and again, and it's eventually going to crash. I want to see if it thinks that it's the same thing that was happening before. Yeah, so this bad access. Oh, we don't have symbols though. I gotta launch the other version of this. All right, let's just bail out of this then. Why can't I bail out of this? There we go. Where do we run the dev app? It's probably my history here. Dev dot. Wait, what? What? Did I run this with the dev app? It's strange. And impossible. I don't recall that. Yeah, I don't recall that. It was like dev.arm64. Oh, there it is. Oh, there's a CD at the beginning of it. Okay, yeah, sure, run that. Okay, I see. Yeah. All right, so that's what I want. So we run this. This will give us symbols. So now we run this bit and then just run. Hey, Scoreline. It's been a pretty rough couple of days in terms of making progress. I've been investigating a crash, and it is just beyond me to figure this out. It's some combination of different things that are happening that any of them individually, if it was the only piece of information, I could probably make sense of. But I can't make sense of all of these things together. Is it random? It's like semi-random, which is why I run this twice now and it hasn't crashed. And I believe it's actually harder to repro on this build for some reason. I might need to change the timing of this. Yeah, it still isn't crashing. Still dealing with that? Yeah, still dealing with that. And I suspect I'm going to come up empty-handed here. And it's just such a shame. I really, really don't want that to happen. Okay, there. It just crashed. And it was the same thing as before. Yeah. So we have only identified the same crash we had originally. And it's trying to destroy a list. And it's asserting that the first thing in the list is empty. And it's a list of C# scripts. So BT15 here. Uninitialized modules. It's the main cleanup here. C# language, C# script.cpp. Whoops. You know, let's just go take a look at that for a sec. C# script.cpp. It's not editor only. No, it happens when I run from code. I mean, it has to involve Godot, but yeah. So this is line 1135, which granted that this was whenever I pulled this. But yeah, here it is. It's finalized and then singleton equals null. All right. And 1132, yeah, there we go. So it's just the end of this. And then a list goes out of range. So where's the singleton? Hold on a second. I want the finalize bit. Oh, I guess I could look at finalize. Let's go see what that does. Clear here after finalizing all domains and make sure there's nothing else referencing the elements. Script bindings. What is that? That is probably in the header file. C# script.h. No, it's an RB map. What? What is the list that we have here? Oh, script list. Yeah, I think it's script list. Guessing Opus has no answer. I mean, I have Codex now, but yeah, I asked Codex at least about this yesterday, and I couldn't get an answer from this. Script list, self list, 135. This is a self list, so it's probably this. And it's just because this goes out of range. Yeah, so this gets unreferenced. Yep. This makes sense. Hey, C-Do. Still working on the crash. Okay, so yes, this is the problem that we see here. I don't even know what else to write. Like LLDB findings. So this is the list. goes or gets like has its ref count decremented to 0 and self list 135. Let's go take a look at that now. Well, we should find this thing first, right? The destructor of C# language. Yeah, here. When we destruct or when we finalize C# script. It's not C# script though, is it? C# language. An ad's going to start. I'm going to take a break in a sec. Which calls into what? Self-list.h. Line 135. Yeah. Which makes us hit this assertion. Do we check what's in the list? I'll have to do that when I get back. Yeah, I'm going to take a quick break. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Hello, hello. Tragic appraisal. Just yeet yourself off the edge. All right, close the game. So yeah, we wanted to see, I think ABC asked about looking at the contents of this. Also, hey, CyberGhost. Yeah, we check what's in the list. So the list should contain all the C# scripts that we have. I have looked at references to and from these. Hey, Dead Monster. I'm doing pretty well. I'm just I'm just stuck right now in this like valley of misery. I shouldn't describe it that way. Honestly, this investigation has had some ups and downs. I feel like I'm approaching kind of the end of what I can figure out here. And yeah, it feels like a waste of time if we didn't actually get to the bottom of this. Anyway, okay, so yeah, we have the script list here. I wrote a watch point. I mean, AI told me how to write this, but a watch point on how to see what enters this thing. Yeah, we get the target, which is the C# script inside a resource that is action markup handler. We dig up a ladder soon, yeah. And I do hope I do that. Stop reason is a breakpoint because of the dev assert. So if we just let this keep running, if I just say C right now and then continue, it's gonna break. Wait, it hits this again? This isn't hitting it a second time, right? Are there two of these? That wouldn't add up. It does appear twice in your stack. Are you serious? Yeah, but it's the exact same. It's only this tiny function that we have here. So I assumed it was like this is how destructors maybe show up here. Like it, I don't know. I don't know if that makes sense. Oh, because of how finalized calls work, maybe? There's something on the wiki about how finalizers, yeah. Finalizer implicitly calls finalize on the base class of the object. Therefore, call to the finalizer is implicitly translated to the following code. Wait a second. This is C++ though. What am I talking about? Wait, but is it C++ targeting the CLR? Doesn't that matter? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. But it's exactly the same, right? 740, 436, 1193. Yeah, it looks like it's exactly the same. Subcode. All right, I'm going to press C again and see what happens here. Man, it just like doesn't make it past this? Or maybe you can't continue beyond this? Or maybe you need to turn off the breakpoint? Breakpoints list? Is that a thing? Breakpoint list? No breakpoints. I don't think it's seg faulted yet though, unless this causes a seg fault. This should just be a breakpoint dev assert. Yeah, what is it defined as? Oh, wait, what? Hold on. They must have some macro definition for this, right? Godot dev assert. Oh, never actually pasted in a dev assert. Where's the definition of this? I just want to see what it does when it hits this. Got to be some like macro definition here somewhere, right? Ah, there it is. Okay, print an error, fatal, dev assert failed. Then flush and then generate trap. Debug break. That's what it does. Huh. Dangling reference. Oh, there is a dangling reference somewhere. And I think I know what script is doing it. I just don't know how it came to be. And I thought that'd be good enough for a bug report, but it's not. So I need to find out how to get this to happen. And I'm out of my league here, out of my depth. Yeah, why is debug break a problem here exactly? Is this some built-in C++ thing? Causes a breakpoint in your code or will be prompted to run the debugger. Yeah, I just can't seem to move past this though. Frame variable this? I don't know what that means. Yeah, I don't know what that means. Oh, you're saying look at this like
Whoops.
expert.
Whoops.
This is the list. Oh, no debugger attached is crash on breakpoint, but LLDB is attached. That's the debugger, right? So it shouldn't be crashing here. Yeah, LLDB examine. Is there some way to like, I don't know, find out more about this? I guess we could pull out whatever we need to from here using whatever commands I had from this too, right? Yeah, could turn this into it's a self list. Although we know that its first is null, so there's actually nothing in this list, right? Oh wait, no, we know that it's not null. Oh yeah, so we know that first has to be a thing. So we should examine that, I guess. Yeah, and then we need to figure out, I mean, I think I already had this in here somewhere, right? Target. I don't know about this. P this. Oh, is that the same as expr dash dash? Like, do I not need to be doing this? They're slightly different somehow. Yeah, there's probably some way to figure out what this is. I guess we know that this is a self list of C# script, so we can convert it to this and then get something about it. I don't know. First. And then maybe from there, there's a reference count. I mean, that's not going to help me. Yeah, it's 0. But maybe C# script will let me get its name or something. I don't know. Let's go see if we can find that. Yeah, something in this. Why can't I copy this? There we go. So we have a bunch of type info in here. Class name, native base name. This is inside a struct called type info though. So wouldn't I have to do something like this? Type info. I don't know what I'm doing. Also doesn't, no. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, there it is. They define a type info and then I need to access it like this. Ah, I got it. Okay, great. All right, so now we get what a class name says summary unavailable. Is this going to tell me the same thing? Dot class name. Yeah, the pointer is summary unavailable though. Native base name. I don't see anything helpful in here. Is there anything else I can get? Base script? Base script that this script derives from, or null if it derives from a native Godot class. This might be too hard to figure anything out. References null pointer. String source. Can we get that? Drat. Ah. I mean, the things like methods in here. I'm guessing none of this is actually available now because we've already destroyed everything. Huh, there's a write method, it looks like. Do we have anything I can make sense of in here? Size 0. This is already at the time where everything should be destroyed, I think. I don't know. Pointer equals summary unavailable. Could we get its data if I do that? Like type info dot class name dot underscore cow data. What if I do this? Oh, okay. I wasn't sure about that. All right. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. We're supposed to find out more here. Put an agent in a loop until it figures it out. Well, I only spent $20 a month on my AI. So I tried having AI look into this earlier yesterday after the stream, and it just burned through all my quota and didn't find anything. Might be a dangling reference that's stuck in the list. It is a dangling reference, and I think I even know what script it's to. I just still don't know how we got here. Like, I ran all this stuff, and we somehow figured out that it's coming from Yarn Spinner. I don't remember how. And then I came to a bunch of conclusions. What's supposed to empty it? If it's freed, then it automatically gets popped from the list. Well, there need to be no. So here's my general understanding. Like, we have a reference to a C# script somewhere. We shouldn't have that reference anymore. So something in Godot needs to call unreference, but isn't doing it. And I think I even know what the script is. I just don't know how to get into this situation. And my understanding might not even be correct about this. But yeah, this is just such a challenge. And like I said, I don't know how I got here exactly. At one point, we set up all these like reference things. Maybe I should just start another AI session here if this is the route I'm going to be going. I just don't have any insights. Probably skip the asset by ignoring 6 trap signals. How would that help? All right, so let's go back to this for a sec. I'm just going to start a new chat here. Approve for me, ask for approval. Okay, what am I doing here? So, does this even crash anymore? No, I stashed everything, right? Yes, this should be crashing now. Let's run this like twice. Yeah, this is a very tough problem. Okay, it's crashing. And let's see if it crashes again. Okay, yeah, it's crashing. All right, so if I run this, my game will start. It'll wait for a semi-random amount of time, then it will quit. Upon quitting, I see this error message. Just type this all over here. I've investigated this for a long time, but can't figure out exactly what's causing it. Some observations I've made. There's some timing component. If I don't wait long enough, the crash won't repro. What else? I wonder if it's going to find my issue in the Godot GitHub and be like, this is exactly your issue. I'll be like, that's me. What else? The thing about the controller, yeah. So if I unplug my controller, this repro stops happening, right? So it just happened twice. Now it should never happen again. Oh, wait, no, this is still attached. There we go. Well, not attached, but connected via Bluetooth, I think. Now it shouldn't be, but I don't know if it's too late. No, it didn't crash. Yeah. So it only crashes when my controller's connected. And it only crashes when we have something in Architect Office. And yeah, maybe AI is like, oh, here's exactly what's going on. So I don't know. Let's find out. Does the warning help at all with dash verbose? I don't think so. I've looked through all the verbose stuff that we have there, and it just doesn't seem to be providing any value. Where'd that issue go? I've opened so many tabs, I don't even know anymore. Let me find it in the today command. Huh, this is with verbose. It didn't give me the details, huh? Leaked instance, C# script. Resource still in use. Yeah, here, this. Yeah, okay, so that's how I came to the conclusion that it was this one. I was like, I have this in my notes somewhere. So I should probably just print this out. All right, so there's some timing component. If I don't wait long enough, the crash won't repro. I need to have my Nintendo Switch controller plugged in for this to happen. The controller has a dead zone issue where it spams Godot with input events. Somehow this is relevant. A 100% repro will go to 0% without my controller plugged in. If I comment out architectoffice.cs, the repro doesn't happen. This is the thing that's just most perplexing to me, and I hope AI can tell me something about this. This file has a bunch of trash in it. If I comment it out, the repro never happens again. And I don't get it. I don't get it. Do you need to specify you're running on Mac? I think it knows that I'm running on Mac. It can examine that pretty clearly. But it probably can't tell us other stuff. Yeah, crash just stops. The controller part's wild. This part is wild. And then there's one other thing that's kind of wild here. And I'm going to just tell AI about all this stuff. And it's going to be like, oh, I don't know what to do. So yeah, this needs to be here. And then the other thing that needs to be here is a print right here. If I comment this out, I think the crash also doesn't happen. So now that before quit message won't print out, and it also won't crash. Do you have it plugged in? I do have it plugged in right now, yeah. So yeah, there are 4 parts of this repro, and only one of them makes sense. But these other 3 parts I just mentioned do not make sense. Usually been clean and rebuild. This is C#, so it's not that relevant. Yeah. Yeah, see? Without the print, it doesn't do anything. I put this print back in, and now I build, and now it's going to crash. Like, why does that matter? And it could change the timing. It could be extra allocations from string concatenation. I don't know. I don't know what's relevant here. But yeah, now it crashes all of a sudden. So like I need the controller plugged in. I need that code in, even though it's not used anywhere. And I need this print. I mean, like I said, there might be a race condition. It's just, I don't know enough to be able to say. Just because there's a timing component doesn't mean it's a race condition. Like I said, my example was if you do something X times per second and we have code like this, if num times done is equal to 100, crash. This is not timing related at all. It just happens that you're doing it X times per second, but you could do it 100 times immediately and you'd hit your same crash over here, right? So like, yeah, it seems like timing is related, but that doesn't mean it's a race condition. If I comment out the contents of architect office, the repro doesn't happen. If I comment out the gd.print, I'll just do this. Line in main.cs. The repro doesn't happen. I don't understand why the last 3 bullet points have any impact on the repro. I've looked into LLDB and have here. On an unoptimized dev build of Godot, and it's broken in here. Can you make sense of this? What is the problem? What should I do to investigate? All right, yeah, because I got no clue what's going on. I'm just gonna have it plan and send this. Oh, I just got my Twitch Prime. Thanks, Don. I appreciate it. How are you doing? Put the controller in the bin and call it a day. I mean, if it were just a controller problem, then Godot shouldn't crash. Like, presumably someone else has to have this kind of problem too, right? But I don't think it's just a controller problem. Inspect the repo shape, specific script you mentioned. Yeah. Just a set of null rich text fields. Points away from gameplay logic and towards C# script and type lifetime. Oh, I didn't mention the stuff about .NET 10 and .NET 8. Yeah. I mean, so far, this is all very reasonable, everything it said. I'm on this paragraph now. Key suspect I see as an input with a noisy controller can keep calling request hurry up. Wait, I don't use this logic, though. Not referenced by the platformer scene. Maybe change generated C# assembly, script registration graph, or GC timing. Not moving code that directly runs during the failing shutdown yet. UI accept is bound to joypad button 0, the same physical button as jump. I should have mentioned that it's not doing that either. All right, well, anyway, let's just let it run something. And yeah, I should probably say some more. Does it only happen on .NET 10? It seems to only happen on .NET 10, but another wrinkle in this problem is if I get rid of the .NET 10 specific features, so I am using extension, whatever the syntax is for that, the new property, like extension properties, and I'm doing conditional field setting with something like prop dot or question mark field equals value. If I get rid of these things, but still have it run on .NET 10, the crash doesn't seem to happen. But practically everything I do somehow affects this crash. So like I mentioned this before, but if I go into this code and I comment out this line, the crash doesn't happen anymore. So I don't get it. And I don't think the changes I'm making are significant. I think they're just something random's happening that I don't understand. Yeah. Is there proper support for .NET 10? Could also be a compiler bug. I don't know, I guess, but I didn't think there was a problem. Should have .NET 10 implementation support long-term support game dev. This is closed. Converted into a discussion. Oh. Man. If it turns out .NET 10 isn't supported, I'm gonna feel like an idiot. Uh-oh. Hmm. That's the problem. It's be really bad. Yeah, do they ever mention which version of .NET? What? Recommended use .NET 9.0. Where do they say this though? Yeah, where can we find this listed? Oh my God. Oh my God. Well, they mentioned this back in 2025. This is like a year and a half ago now. They moved to .NET 8. What about future .NET releases? Godot always supports the latest .NET version. Version targeted by Godot's C# package is only the minimum version of your product. Okay, so then this is the answer, right? Yeah, okay. So then there shouldn't be an issue. What is this? Where's their footnote for 2? Can I search for this? How do we find that footnote? There. Users could always use the latest version of .NET. Up until now, .NET 6 has been the minimum required. Newer versions have always been supported from day one, even the pre-releases. Oh, I'm not using a pre-release. I see. Well, I don't think I'm using a pre-release, right? .NET 10. I think this is just the... Yeah, like .NET 11 is the pre-release one, right? Yeah, I think we're fine. Okay. So I think we're good there. Has AI actually said something here? All right, copy this, paste this over here, preview this. All right, this looks like a Godot mono shutdown lifetime bug, not an architect office gameplay bug. Crash means Godot is destroying C# script language registry while at least one C# script is still registered. Yep, this checks out. Reported survivor is this, which matches the yarn line presenter path, not architect office. Controller energy print observations are probably repro stabilizers. Noisy controller keeps driving input into yarn dialog advancement during shutdown. But I'm not pressing the button. Maybe I should tell it that. I mean, yeah, this is possible. Okay, so what do we have? Add temporary instrumentation outside game add-ons around main, mark shutdown start, prevent re-entrant quick game, log each phase, log before runner stop, explicitly disable dialogue or UI input before stopping. Okay, that's kind of interesting. And log all of these and ignore input once shutdown starts. Which file is it trying to get to for this? No, this is mine. I'm not using this one. I shouldn't be using that one. Let me make sure I'm not using that one. Game/source/UI/ yeah, nothing's found. I'll type directory anyway here just in case. UI yarn slash, and then just find all of these. Found usage. It's only in the out folder. I don't care about that. Yeah, I don't think I'm using this at all. What I am using is add-ons slash, I don't know what the path is. Yarn spinner. Yeah, there it is. Yarn spinner, Godot, slash, and then a bunch of other stuff. I don't know, but if I search for this, we should find a lot of results, right? Yeah. Yeah. This I'm using. So the controller crashes the game in certain moments. I don't know what the bug is, so I can't comment on what exactly is happening. The controller might matter, it might not matter. Yeah, I need to look into this more to find out. Controller plugged in, line presenter, controller handler ignores input after shutdown starts. See, the thing is, this isn't even, we're not doing anything here that Yarn Spinner would be listening to. So this is all kind of false here. Okay, so let me write that down, I guess. Forgot to include a few key facts. One, the controller I'm using should only be emitting, what is it called? Like axis something. What is this thing called? Yeah, joypad motion, I think. All right, now where'd that go? Here it is. Not button presses. My repo doesn't currently use any of the code in source UI yarn in here, right? Just using the code from the add-ons folder. And what else? Yeah. Also, feel free to modify code in add-ons just for this session if it makes the investigation easier. Also, what is my usage at out of just that one query? That took 10%. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm on .NET 10. I'm using .NET 10. I don't know if this matters. Actually, I don't really want to mention this because I still want to figure out what the issue is, even if I'm using .NET 10. And I don't want it to be like, well, I switched to .NET 8 and it doesn't repro, because I already did that myself and it didn't repro. And it might mean it's a problem with .NET 10, and it might mean that it's a, you know, as the AI says, repro stabilizer, where it just changes the timing or allocations or something such that it obfuscates the actual problem. Still worth pursuing, get LLDB to dump full backtrace. I did that last night. At least I did it on a crashing run, and it is very hard to pair the stacks. So I think it was semi-inconclusive for me. No, wait. Then I had AI. I actually asked it. Hang on. I probably have that conversation still. Where's that conversation? Yeah, it's a like massive list of stuff to look through. Where is this? Oh, man. No, maybe it was this? No. Did I give it? Here it was. Yeah, so I gave it all of this text. Here were all of the references and unreferenced calls, and there were quite a lot of them. So this is several hundred lines of just reference and unreference back traces. And it looked through it and said, log points pretty clearly to the culprit, action markup handler is being retained. And then did a whole bunch of computation and everything. And like, I do know that it's this file. I just don't know what exactly is causing it. Hey, Steak, I'm using Codex, yeah. Would you let it run LLDB itself? I don't want to have it run it directly. I do want to learn about how to do this anyway, but yeah. All right, let's go back to AI instructions. Oh, can you not do that? All right, well, I can just tab over to it, right? Where is it? Normally, I don't have 400 tabs open, but I've been investigating this for a while. All right, so no, tell it what to do differently. Click that. And there. Is it better than Cursor? I've never used Cursor. I've only really used Copilot, JetBrains AI, Codex, and Claude. I think I like Claude the best. I think Codex has been much better in terms of like getting more queries out of it, I guess. But yeah, everyone kind of has different experiences. And I think a lot of those experiences change depending on which tier you're spending on. So like $20 versus $100. At $100, maybe you don't feel like you're limited. And I don't know, maybe you, yeah. Could you share those ref and unref dumps? Sure, yeah. Where'd it go? Is it still my clipboard? There it is. All right, so reveal in Finder, GitHub, gist. There is, oh, there it is, create secret gist. Okay, got it. So this is, yeah, LLDB output. Not using your old company's AI harness, anti-gravity. No, I haven't tried any of Google's AI offerings. I don't really trust it. I heard enough things about, like, what was it? Gemini was enabled on GCP for some people, and it had some like, I don't know, had more access on its token than it should have had, and then it did something funky and people got their account shut down. I don't know. I don't know how much of that's even true. I was just like, I'm not getting my Google account shut down. I don't want to lose access to like Gmail and photos and the millions of documents I have. And I've heard that that's one of the nightmare situations to be in. Is really, it's not just Google. It's also, I heard this with Apple, like over reliance on any tech company and then trying to get a human to actually help you with your problem. What are the odds of it being this? Read access violation crash when closing game if a node is no longer a child of the scene tree. They're talking about something a little bit different here. Oh, this is still open. But it looks like it's in different code altogether. The best Agenti tool for coding when you started, or you just pick one at random based on acquaintance? I mean, based on all the biases that I had, what I read online, what friends are using, what seemed like kind of the best in the market at the time. With that said, so I don't do a lot of agentic coding. Like you can see the number of sessions I've had since I signed up for Codex 2 weeks ago. Like this is the stuff in this project that I've done. And you can see some of it's kind of minor, like add a credit scene. Like this isn't something I couldn't have done. It's just grunt work. But yeah, a lot of this is, I don't know, sometimes minor or just asking questions about what to do. So yeah, I don't know. I tend to still like coding stuff myself. So yeah, like Claude was pretty great for when I wanted it to do something and just didn't feel like doing it myself. By the way, I do plan on using AI for more of the grunt work kinds of things. If I'm ever like, hey, I know exactly how to do a task, yeah, I'd probably just subscribe it for AI. Because then I don't have to actually do the task. I just need to verify it at the end. And a lot of times it is pretty easy for me to verify, especially if it's small. All right, so new facts rule out my earlier custom handler theory. The active scene uses Yarn Spinner's add-on line presenter button handler. Yep, and motion-only controller spam should not directly advance dialogue. Yep. Likely shape is now high frequency joypad motion keeps exercising gamer native code during the quit window, while Yarn Spinner's presenter graph leaves a manager native reference cycle or late held script resource. Sure. Yep, that's still fine. I don't understand how this could cause problems, but I guess that's what a bug is someone not understanding how this could have caused a problem. So confirm the input storm path by temporarily logging only counts in this, count this many events and whether these ever match or whatever. Add AB run where input immediately returns. I don't think this would matter. Although actually that's another thing I didn't mention, but I already can kind of picture how this is going to go. If I approve this plan and I'm like, okay, go for it, it's going to burn through the entire 5-hour quota and it's not going to find anything. That's my guess. Hey, Auto Prince. Yeah, I'm working on a new game. Welcome in. How's it going? Hope your music's going well. The new game I'm working on is called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial, and normally I'd be able to show it off a little bit, but I can't really do it right now. And yeah, I've got a video on the keyboard. If you want to watch it, it should print out soon. But yeah, welcome in. Good to see you. Okay, temporary add-on edits are allowed in all of these with instance IDs and is valid. You know what? Maybe I just say go for it. Yeah, whatever. I mean, really, what do I have to lose at this point? And in terms of quota, what I'm probably at like 80, yeah, I was going to say 85%, say 86. So it's probably going to go down to 0 over the course of the next 15 minutes. And that's fine because I probably wasn't going to be doing much anyway with AI. Want to show the game if something's broken? Well, I could show a different build. I could actually just keep a different build off to the side so that I could show people. I want to make a trailer or something. Part of what I wanted to do, the whole point of stabilization mode, and we're on what, day 8 of 10 today. So we have tomorrow and the next day, and tomorrow's only a half day. But anyway, part of what I wanted to do is just go through my to-do list and prune any items that otherwise wouldn't be done but would still be high priority. One of those high priority tasks is make a Steam page. Now, the act of giving Valve $100 and like setting up a Steam page, that part's not hard. That's dead simple. In fact, Valve very much wants your money. The part that's hard is coming up with screenshots and trailers and marketing text and especially for this game, I'm not totally sure what to do for any of this stuff. A lot of times you're making a game where it's like, yeah, you want to show off parts of the game, but this game I might want to hide some things. So yeah, I haven't done this, and this was one of the things I kind of wanted to do, and I haven't gotten to it. But if I had done it, then I could have put like a really quickly mashed together trailer of like, hey, here's what the game's like so far, and then just pointed to that page. And I also could have started getting wish lists. But yeah, if this crash keeps up, it's looking like it's not really going to be possible. Changing random files causes the error to not show up. Can you verify the changes the agent makes actually fixes it? So not that it fixes it, but what I'm hoping is, I'm hoping we can get a minimal repro. So something that crashes 100% of the time. And that way I can pass it to the Godot team. And then they can investigate. Hey, Jessica, and thank you. So yeah, if we stop the crash from happening, then that's not very valuable to me, unless it stops it by like patching Godot and fixing the core issue, which I wouldn't have it do. But I can't even prune down this repro. And that's what's crazy to me, because it's too hard to know what's going on here. I need some more insight. And play more games again. Looking forward to see what you make. Thanks. Yeah. Yeah, it'll probably be another couple years. Like Skeleseller took 2 years. This new game, so I mentioned it's called Stuck in a Broken Tutorial. It is a collection of like of what I'm calling sub games, and it's part comedy, part kind of story driven, and part just actual like fun games, hopefully. As a result of being a collection of sub games, like you'll frequently play another game and there'll be mini games in it or something. Like the Banjo-Tooie had this like FPS section in it, but then they reused it 3 or 4 times in the game. So it's not like they just coded it once and then that was it. There was like a 2-minute period of the game that you did. In the game I'm making, there will be games where I spend like 4 weeks on it and it shows up for 3 minutes and then you're just done. So it's quite the amount of scope we have for this. Baseline smoke run, reproduce the important part right away. It logged roughly 960 joypad motion. This is pretty funny, by the way. Like my controller's sitting there on my desk right now, but because it's got improperly configured dead zones, it's going nuts. Yeah, that's very funny. And yeah, thanks, Cyber and Viber. A couple non-conclusive notes from LLDB. The ref count starts at 2. Unpaired ref may occur before your watch point triggered. Stack trays are too short. Even if you found a mismatch, it'd be hard to identify the calling code. Unless those are the full... No, they're not the full ones. I think I just printed BT15 after all of them or something. Do you think agentic coding made programming more or less fun? I think for me, in general, if you're asking in, like across all developers in the world, I think I might have a different answer. But for me in general, I think it made it more fun because, like I said, the bulk use case for me is when I'm either like way out of my depth, like here, and hopefully that didn't trigger something wrong, or it's just total grunt work. So as an example, and this is just a totally contrived thing, but let's say you gave me like 10,000 numbers and you said, come up with the average. Like, I'm not going to go add them all by hand. I'd write a program to do this. So now if this was a common problem, I'd be like, well, I'm not even gonna write the program by hand anymore. I'll ask AI to do it. And then I'll just verify it on a set of, 10,000 just sequential numbers or multiples of 5 or something like that. Something that you can easily figure out the answer to. So yeah, I like that. I like that I don't have to focus on that anymore. And I still can do whatever it is I want. So like if I want to use zero AI for a project, I could. But yeah, I still don't use it for creative stuff. I don't use it to like write emails or text or write-ups or something. I still want to do that stuff. Well, we got to write another note before I forget. Write note to reach out to Idle Prince when I have a new game. I mean, he said it. He said looking forward to it. That's a binding contract that he is now going to play the game to completion. There's no binding contract. Don't worry, Idle Prince. All right, what do we have over here? So what happened? Implemented the investigation harness and temporary add-on instrumentation. Added crash investigation with runtime switches and motion event counters. Wired this to count them. Instrumented yarn add-on lifecycle. Switches our command line user args after dash dash. Also did one pass smoke probes. Baseline reproduced a crash and showed 960 joypad motion events. One run each of ignore motion, skip playback. So probably has to do with motion. I mean, this is good, but like part of what I wanted to do is find out what is the actual problem here. Yeah, this is Codex. I'm enjoying it. But okay, I came from Claude and then moved to Codex, and part of the reason that I ditched Claude was ideological, which is that they're now in the like the XAI data centers or something. And I just don't think Elon Musk should have more money. That's my basic pushback. So I'm like, okay, I'll switch to Codex. But I think Claude was really good. So like I feel like I just switched to my detriment. And that if I didn't feel the way that I felt about where my money should go, that I'd just be using it again. So yeah, there's probably some like perceived difference that's not an actual difference. I made skills for a mono API and data commands and model libs. Generate consistent boilerplate stuff, save tons of times. Yeah. Claude mostly runs. Yeah, it might mostly run there, but I think they had some scaling issues and then got some hundreds of megawatts or something of power from the XAI data centers. And yeah, I don't know. I need to research it more. I also kind of want to just try Codex, but yeah, I'm not sure I'm happier with Codex. Oh, what are they going to do? I was going to say to figure out more. So I've tried several times and had you try. Well, I shouldn't say that. I don't need to make the AI feel bad. Tried several times to come up with a minimal repro for this to no avail because of how many how many repro stabilizers there are, as you mentioned, i.e., I don't know what's relevant and what isn't, especially when cutting out a line of code that is completely unused changes whether the program crashes. How should I proceed to be able to find a minimal repro or point? Yeah. Yeah, I still wanted to just plan this. See the issue? Seems somewhat similar. If it's just a wrapper Godot class and not a custom inheriting class, attach a script binding instead. One of the advantages of this is that if a script is attached later and is not a C# script, then the managed object won't have to be disposed. Another reason for doing this is that this instance could outlive C# language, which would be problematic when using a script. See this. Mono crash on game quit of calling. Oh, hey, action add event. Interesting. This is from 2019, though. Yeah, I don't know. It does seem similar. It's just so difficult to know. I'll just write this down here. Hey, Sam. Let's be honest. Who cares? I understand if you do, but money's going to a billionaire anyway, I think. Oh, yeah. I'm with you. And this is one of the things that I think is tough to grapple with. So, like, right now, I used Claude for 1 month, and then this thing happened. And then I switched to Codex, and it hasn't even been a month yet. So this is all very new, and I haven't really paused to think, like, am I being held back? Is this somehow impacting me? So in month number 3 or month number 4, maybe, I might be like, okay, I've used Codex enough, and I feel like the quality's suffering, for example. Yeah, do I switch? Do I try something else? Do I try something open source or open models, I guess? But yeah, I know what you're saying. And I am very cognizant of when this stuff is only hurting me and not actually like abiding by any real principles. Play when it's ready, of course. Okay. Now that's a binding contract. All right, so not trying to minimize by deleting random project code yet. This crash is sensitive to timing, manage native teardown order, and allocation shapes. So deletion-based minimization will keep producing false negatives. Said build a repro by locking the failure signal. What does that even mean? Then replacing each stabilizer with a deliberate synthetic equivalent. What? Why? Goal is not initially smallest project. First goal is a mechanism repro. Treat every stabilizer as guilty until replaced. Controller span becomes a scripted or synthetic input event joypad motion storm. Random weight becomes a fixed sweep over known good quit timings. Architect office becomes a controlled set of unused C# scripts in field. This sounds like a bad idea. Yeah, it sounds like a bad idea. So frustrated. There are like 3 ways we can approach this. At least I think so. One is build up a repro from scratch. 2 is tear down my repro to the minimal amount. And 3 is just inspect Godot code. Maybe you could argue there's another way, which is like some amount of debugging using LLDB. But I have been unsuccessful at, well, all of these, or else I wouldn't be talking about the problem. Yeah, I've been unsuccessful at all of these, but yeah, nothing I have done has allowed me to get my code down to the minimal set. Now, there is one other thing I could consider, which is just we leave all of this up and just say ignore it when it comes to the repro. Like, for some reason it's needed. But this is quite a lot. Like, I don't want to share hundreds of lines of code repro here. And I've asked the AI to do this. Like, okay, well, knowing what you know, go make a repro that has this happening. Okay, you know what? Let me try something else here. What is running and why is something running? It's the LLDB version of this. Also, it's 3:30. Like, I don't want to be doing this all day. All right, let's load up my C# crash on exit, which is falsely named because it doesn't actually crash on exit. And now that I know there's an input handler involved, maybe we can just add one here and get this to happen. Because I wasn't handling input at all. Well, I should take a break in a sec. Yeah, I'll take a break. I'll take a break. So let's look at this. So where I left off is going to try using what I learned to get a repro to happen in my C# crash project. Been going at it for a while. Yeah, I know. And I think this morning's stream was longer than normal too. What is this? Or whatever. Yeah, it was 4 hours and 17 minutes. But we're going to go for a little bit longer, maybe another hour. I'll take a break though for now. Is it jump time? It's jump time. Hello again. Hey Mars, hey Zoe, hey Professor Fate. Close the game. Hope you're all doing well. We are going to try this again. Also, Idle Prince, I see you left. Take care. I think that was probably during my break. But yeah, I hope you have a good one. Okay, so we have our main script over here, and we have no input handler. I'm going to go add one. It's going to be from this other project, which I accidentally closed. Okay, let's go fix that. Open. Wait, what is going on here? Oh, I thought new windows. Okay, I know what I did. All right, so we go into input handling in farming game. Whoops. Come on. Input. Yeah, so I want to copy this entire thing over to here. And what was weird is, yeah, like get rid of a lot of this stuff. Don't care. Don't care. Yeah, so I want this in here. And I don't know how much this is going to matter. And same thing with like string names. Should I save these off somewhere? These just need to be some string. So let's just say like stir 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I need to change the CS project file here to use .NET 10. It already is. Okay, that's good. Does .memory reveal anything? I haven't looked at it yet. I need to at some point. I think we'll see a ton of allocations, but I don't think it's going to be easy to correlate to when it crashes or not. Because I think those allocations will happen regardless. If this guy's minimal repro still works and is similar to what you see. This is exported though. Well, it says e-ported, but this is exported. Mine actually doesn't crash when exported. Regression. Surprised there's no comment here from the Godot maintainers. But yeah, I'll put that in here too. All right, well, back to this for a sec. So we need some strings here now. So private static read only string name stir1 equals stir1. Then we do 2, 3, 4. We just need them to be different. And then this, I don't know if this is important. I'll go add this in anyway because I'm not at all certain what's needed and what isn't now. I don't think you can copy across Godot instances though, right? Let's see if you can. Where's paste? No, you can't. Okay, that's fine. It's just an animation tree anyway. And then here we give it a state machine. And then the state machine itself doesn't matter. We give it a unique name. We go over to here. We go get this stuff working. Animation tree. Good. So save this here. Then get the playback node. Put that here. And there we go. Okay. So now we have some input here, which might bring this more in line with what I was seeing. And then what happens? We wait 9 seconds and then print a bunch of stuff. Oh, except for this shouldn't ever be the case. What sets this to true? No, it's false. Okay. All right, let's just try and see what happens. They got it not happening in the editor. I don't think I have it happening in the editor, but when I export from the editor, it doesn't happen in the exported build either. What is this? I don't know what this even is. Keep exported array. We don't even have that. And this is something AI was trying to do yesterday, which is kind of interesting because this is the shape that it's supposed to take. So does this crash on exit? There's some other issues here. Although those look like UID issues. We can ignore UID issues or fix them. We don't have to ignore them. So it should close. Did it crash? Well, it produced a massive exception. Okay, this is interesting. This is very interesting. But I don't know what we're looking at right now because I need to get the lay of the land again. Well, let's start with dialogue scene. So let's go into that and just save this. And that's all it should take for that to not happen again, I think. Or maybe we have to play. I don't know. But now let's stop it. No, it still printed out a bunch of these. What is this? Dialog scene, invalid UID, using text path to dialog runner. So dialog runner is what I need to open? Is it the scene or is it the script file? It's the script file. Oh, we don't have add-ons in here. What is this using then? Yeah, what happened to the add-ons folder? Strange. Code, Godot, repros, crash. That's strange. Yeah. Did it disable it? Oh, okay. Well, that answers that question. So doesn't that fix all the problems though? Well, I don't see add-ons in here. I don't know what's happening. Yeah. That's weird. Can I open the same folder? Yeah, there's add-ons. There's all the stuff that I want. It doesn't show up in Godot though. Maybe we need to reload this. Something weird is happening here. We're not seeing the add-ons folder. Did it get disabled again? No. Is there something that turns this off? Not that I can see. I haven't seen this happen before. How do you get the add-ons folder to show up again? What if I add another folder? Test. Oh. Well, still made the T folder there. Does that show up? Yes. Good. So then how do you get add-ons to show up? If I just rename it add-ons 2. All right, so fail to load a bunch of stuff. Now let's rename it back to add-ons. All right. I don't know what's happening there. Yeah, I've never seen this before. Godot add-ons folder not showing in editor. It's because it's getting GD ignored. Aha. What the AI is doing. Like I said, I just let it run rampant yesterday. And I thought, hey, if it fixes it, it fixes it. And it did all this stuff. So now we got to reload this, I'm guessing. The repro was small enough where, yeah, there we go. So now we shouldn't have those issues in the debugger. We just get this now. Cannot access a disposed object. I mean, this sounds like a real issue. Hey, TCAP, can you compile the engine? I saw you ran it in the debugger, so I'm guessing you can. Yeah, I can. Yeah. I'm trying to build a minimal repro right now that will let me file this in a Godot issue, although I'm not getting to the same problem, but this is a problem and it might be very related to the one I was originally trying to find. Well, let's look through the code we do have because there's not very much of it. Yeah, we don't care about any of the add-on stuff. So here we have a bunch of these things. Let's look at main. And main has a bunch of cruft here. Rather than just knowing it fails that one dev assert, you'd have to add 2 arguments to the functions that set the pointer that fail the assert and modify the calls of those so they include file line. But my concern is that we're going to find out that some like registrar inside the native code is being passed a script from my side, the managed side, and that it'll still be meaningless to me. Like, I'm pretty sure I know what file is causing this. I just don't know what in that file is causing this. And actually, that's another route I hadn't taken that I don't think I thought of, which is, what if I cut out... Oh, this might be hard. What if I cut out this structure that we think is failing? These event handlers or something? I should write that down. Things I haven't tested. Yeah, this. If this is failing due to line presenter, maybe we should just be taking a crash repro and cutting lines out of there. I think this is any progress. I'm not sure. I don't think so, though. I think this is fair, though. I mean, think about it the other way around. Imagine you're managing a repository that is a lightning rod for issues, and all people of all different kinds of experience, people using AI to file issues, people who think it's an issue, but it's actually a problem in their game code. Like, just imagine like some brand new game dev. They don't know anything. They're trying to make like Breakout or something, and they've got some bug, and they file an issue saying like the paddles don't move or something like that. You're like, oh, this again. Okay, what are you talking about? Like, can you share your code? Can you make a minimal repro? Here's our contributing guide. You probably get sick of that after enough times. You're just like, look, just give us a minimal repro. If we can repro your issue, then yeah, we'll look into it. And even, I mean, like, I say this even for myself. Like, I filed an issue and it didn't have enough details, and I think that's totally fair. It's like, yeah, they shouldn't have to go hunt down through like thousands of lines of code. All right, so this probably doesn't matter. There's a lot here that was starting to be used and actually wasn't used in the end. I also wonder how much, what if this does have to do with using an extension? What if that's part of the repro and we should be calling that and we're not? Quit after delay. I think this uses just a proper timer, right? It doesn't, but I want to use that. Something to your stream. They'd probably be like, why? He doesn't see the issue. It's right there. Like, yeah. Where if only someone who worked on Godot was here and could guide me with this, I would happily pursue it. Okay, so I want to change this to be this dot call after tons of frames. And we're going to call this stuff quitting the game. And what is this? Frames after free before quit 30. And that's what this does, right? 30, yes. Okay. I want it to be an extension method because I don't know if that's relevant. It seemed like it impacted the repro. I mean, let's just try this again. Hire them to sit in chat and help you debug. See, this is kind of the sad part of this is like, I think I have a workaround that'll make it so it just never crashes anymore. And I could just use that workaround, but I wanted to do the full repro here. Yeah, we're getting an error, and it is possible that this error is important. Let's copy all this out of here and take a look. So there's a whole bunch of tasks that are here. And then we get to this, and it calls push error. Yarn task 32. Await task is failing, and then calls this. It's almost like we're stopping this incorrectly. And then isn't there some other issue down here? Yeah. Although this is the backtrace that got, yeah, this is just the one from here. But this isn't the same issue that I hit when I try this stuff out. And there's some other piece of this, I don't know. I wonder if any of this code was modified. We could just drop in all of the code that it should be. Yeah, let's go try that. So temp, yarn spinner, add-ons. Yeah, I want to just delete everything in here and replace it with unmodified code. That work? Yeah. All right, now let's run it. It should function identically. That is scaring me. Why'd that happen? Can I just click it again? I wonder if Godot is importing everything. No, it doesn't look like it. CSV helper. Can't resolve. All right, let's try something else here. Because maybe there was a hidden file that I needed and I should copy at this level. That is everything, right? Yeah, that's everything. Does it work now? Nope. Oh, I have greatly screwed up. Oh, man. .NET Restore. I might need to do that. Although I don't think there's no like NuGet package here. Isn't that for that? Oh, it works now. Okay. Yeah. I just need to reload. All right. So yeah, does this change anything? Also, it should be getting like a million events. It doesn't change the output. What's different? Oh, there are a lot of things that are different. And the worst part is that I don't know what's part of the repro and what isn't. So I can't easily just randomly change this stuff. What do we have here? Dialog scene.queue free. This is supposed to, I mean, this part's supposed to be on a timer, and it is. Where's the terminate game thing? Yeah, that's okay. Then we do a wait quick game, configure a wait. I don't want to do everything that we're just doing over there. There. Now go get this. Wait game. All right, so the first part of quick game is to print, sure. Then to await stopping the dialog runner. Do we do that? Yes, we do. Then we wait a single frame, which we're not doing over here. So this dot next frame. I don't need this at all. What's this even doing? Yeah, I don't care about this. And then put this in here. So this matches what we have over here now. View free, collections frames. Cool. Yeah. Then in terms of the time, we can change that to be exactly what we have over here too, which is a random number between 7 and 10, just in case that's important. And anything else? I don't think so, but there's a lot of garbage collector stuff that we just don't need. In fact, this didn't even matter. We had like a fake GC call here. We could replace that. So any of this stuff could be replaced with fake GC call. And same thing down here. Actually, we just change all of these. Okay, now this is a problem because this is a static function, so this should just be static. And where are we at now? We're gonna run it and find out what happens. I don't need this GC collect stuff and Q typed array finalizers. Okay, so now we don't hit the stack trace of accessing a disposed object because Q free isn't happening. No, wait, I don't know. We're waiting a frame before calling Q free though. So we're waiting 2 frames basically. I wonder if this will ever crash. Man, if this does, this is pretty close to minimal repro. I mean, we still have all the yarn spinner stuff in there. Oh no, we do hit the yarn issue still. And quitting the game prints twice. I don't need that there. I don't want the rest of this GC stuff here either though. Q typed array finalizers. This is getting hit from here? Yeah, I don't want that. And block finalizer thread. Finalizer blocker. Interesting. That's kind of clever. Yeah, let's delete that. The stuff that's different. All right, I want to run this a bunch of times. Let's edit this. Get the path to this. And in my for loop thing, let's run that. All right, let's try it. I don't think it's ever going to crash the way that it does in my actual repro. But I have another idea that's very stupid. You know how in cartoons they're like, that's just crazy enough to work. Well, I've got an idea that's just crazy enough to work. Yeah, this isn't the same like crash. This is just a C# exception. Yeah, so my idea, bear with me because this is really dumb, is to change 7 to 10 to 3 to 25 and then run this 6 times. All right, that's all I've got. I don't have anything else. Yeah. Yeah, I just can't make sense of this. I wonder what it is. I mean, I guess Codex already kind of said somewhere up here. Yeah, changes that perturb timing in garbage collection enough to hide it. Like, I can modify a file that otherwise has no impact, but it ends up having an impact. It's not crashing. That's the best we get, is when it prints out a stack trace from accessing a disposed object. What's the workaround? Go back to 4.5. No, the workaround is just what I put in the issue, which is just call these 3 lines of code, and then the crash never happens. But I mean, this could be the same as me commenting out a public static const float. Like, it's just totally random and doesn't really do anything. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, we never get the crash. And this time it's waiting 22 seconds. This is part of why I wanted to test this out. Uh, that's on my clipboard. I accidentally pasted. So ignore this. Yeah, this is pointless. I wonder if this is important though. Why don't we get this inside my game? Append print params. Did I change how this runs? I think I might have. Yeah, I think I might have. Line presenter has instant. Yeah, this is not set to instant over here. That might matter. Because, yeah, that might matter. Let's try this again. Wait, wait. We gotta run through here first. There, great. Yeah, I'm just ignore it. Okay, the reason that might matter is because there are tasks inside of dialogue runner that say to await everything, and one of them is typing out the dialogue, the literal dialogue with a UE at the end, not the text dialogue without the UE. And whether this is instant or not could change that. It didn't for the first run, but wait for the second run. No, I don't think this is gonna have an impact. What else could we do? I don't know. We should probably make sure that it's getting all this controller input. I'll let it run this time. Yeah, I'm done with this. Let's just stop this. There. So is it getting controller input? It should be print event.as text. So we should see this thing go crazy. It should just be spamming the log. Yeah, it is. This is my Pro controller that doesn't have dead zones set correctly. So it just thinks I'm like constantly holding it slightly to the side. Interesting. Stopping the dialogue runner. Queue free on the dialogue scene. Let me still get this stuff because it's coming from main. That's not what happens in the actual game. In my code, the input handler is on the game. So I got to change this. Which means I also have to move this. Copy it into this scene. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Hey, Fallen Grade. How's your day going? My day has not been very good. No, I don't know. It's hard to say it hasn't been very good. There just hasn't been a lot of progress. I think it's been fine. But I would have liked progress, of course. Because now I'm torn on what to do tomorrow. Do I still mess around with this stuff? Do I just keep doing this until I go insane or solve the problem, whichever comes first? Was lunch good? Lunch was good. I had a burrito. All right, so now we run this, right? Yeah, we run this. This doesn't run with verbose either. I don't know if that'll matter. Huh, wonder why I just paused there in the middle. Interesting. Right before we quit, let's delete this. And let's delete this. We're quitting the game, but what we don't have is a call that interpolates a string and concatenates a bunch of stuff. So 3 seconds has never been long enough for a repro, but I still think it was worth trying. Okay, so let's say, just for laughs, let's say we got this to crash. And let's say it was exactly the same problem that we've been experiencing on the game itself. Is this small enough to file in the Godot repo? Because my code is not very long here. And I could probably even trim it down a little bit more. Like this doesn't matter. This probably doesn't matter. This is 60 lines. That's not too bad. This doesn't matter. This is like 60 lines. Yeah, so that's not too bad. None of this is, yeah, none of this matters. But then we're including the entirety of the yarn spinner add-on. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we could even submit that. Did you end up figuring it out, Fallen Grade? Do any of us have hope? Yeah, this isn't happening. I think the whole 3 to 25 or whatever it is I typed, I think that was kind of stupid. I think I should set this back to 6 or maybe even 5 to 9.5. There we go. No, I can't get this to happen. I'm not sure I've seen that meme. Funny description though. Let me Let me go look this up. Oh yeah, I've seen it. So good. Yeah. I was picturing like modern armor, modern military sort of thing. Not like a knight with an arrow. Yeah, this will never happen. Hey, Suyash. I'm doing okay. Um, Part of the reason this is such a flimsy repro is that there are too many confounding factors to know if we've written the code correctly such that we're going to hit the repro. All right, let me try this a different way. Let's go back to my other project and go to line presenter. And then I want to get rid of this somehow. I don't think we can easily. What if we just didn't do any of this stuff? Yeah, what if I just comment all this out? Actually, no, what if we just get rid of that one line? Yeah. What if we do that? Actually, no, let's put the line back in for a second, and then let's go run my actual, yeah, let's run this. So I want to make sure this is crashing to begin with, because I don't want to find out if we can get it to stop crashing afterward. I'm using .NET 10 in the Repro project, yeah. Is there a way for you to build a version of Godot that'd be more logs and more information? Yeah, I can add logs wherever I want. I can run it verbose. All right, did this actually crash? It did not. Yeah, it did not. Ready, exit tree. Log yarn. Dialog runner changed. Ready. Yeah, there's a lot of like logging code here. Dispose code. Calls into the base, right? Yeah, it does. Clear investigation presenter references. What is this? If we're going to clear them on exit? Okay, sure. What else do we have here? This doesn't look like it should be affecting the repro at all. I mean, we could just shelve all these changes. I want to keep my change in line presenter though. All right, let's shelve everything. Ugh. Shelve change. I want to shelve everything though. Is it going to shelve everything? No. How do you do that? It's not getting the crash investigation file. Changeless changes? Huh. Yeah, I don't know how you do that. I guess just add to VCS. Oh, okay. Sure. I'll write that down. For files not in the repo, you need to add them to VCS first before being able to shelve them. All right, so what is this? This is some like AI instrumentation, mostly logging. Yeah, shelve. All right, so now we have no changes again. I'm going to build this again, and then we're going to run this, and we should see it crash. Then what I want to do is change line presenter so that it doesn't set those action markup handlers. And yeah, see if that's a problem. Now, what's funny about this is, yeah, so it is crashing. I had filed an issue in the yarn spinner repo about, I never mentioned this until now, not because I was trying to withhold it, just because I didn't think about it until yesterday and then I wasn't streaming. Yeah, I had filed this issue about custom typewriter doesn't get markup handlers correctly. I'm like, hey, here's some things you could do. And they did both of these fixes. And yeah, one of them resulted in this line of code that could, for all I know, be the problem. Where is it? I lost it. Markup handler. Yeah, right here. We do this and we do this now. I mean, I guess this always happened. It's just in a different order. All right, so it crashed both times. So we're going to just try changing stuff and see what happens. So let's try changing that. And then build and run. Wouldn't it be funny? Like, hey, due to this thing I proposed in your repo that you then accepted, it cost me 16 hours of my time. Oh, it's not crashing. Oh my God. Are we getting any closer? I don't know. Yeah, I talked about this earlier, but like anything I change causes the repro to change. So I'm not sure, but changing this one line stops it from reproing. Oh man. All right, well, that's probably, I mean, this is happening even in the other repo though. If I go to line presenter over there, we have the markup handlers, right? Yeah, it's the new code. So it's happening in both, and it doesn't always cause a problem. But if there are no event handlers, then there's just never an issue. So what's going on? Done all your online presence and become a farmer? Yeah, yeah. But what do we grow? That's why I haven't become a farmer yet. Because like strawberries would remind me of this game, but every other crop would then not be strawberries. So obviously you can see we're at an impasse here. Ask Abby. Abby, she like cows. Just cows. I mean, there are some other things we could try here. We could try not passing the action markup handlers into the typewriter. Oh, no, it's got to be instant typewriter. All right, so now build that. There should just be one change here, right? Yeah. All right, let's go run that. Hey, Goose. It's fixed? No, it's not fixed. Okay, interesting. So either one of these changes will make this not show up, but it'll also change the semantics of the typewriter. But this is probably the most... Oh, no, it crashed. Okay, so then it still happens when we do this change. So I want to write this down over here. If we cut out this line, it stops crashing. If we cut out this line in the typewriter initialization, it still crashes. Let me try that again. Just make certain. This is funny though. Turns out to be this, or it turns out to be an ordering problem. But what this is doing, this line of code, is it's adding every one of the event handlers that we have into a different list. And this list is being tracked above. The actual markup handlers are added by reference. Does this, I guess it passes the list in here. Oh, wait a sec. Could it be that the order of the finalizers that's run matters? Because we keep track of a list here. Where is that? Yeah, here. And then so does the typewriter. typewriter has its own event handlers or markup handlers or whatever, right? Yeah. Why would that matter? Oh, I think it's something like that. The weird thing is this keeps track of an interface. This keeps track of concrete classes. Although actually this is abstract. Yeah, this is abstract. But it's at least going to resolve to a derived class, which is concrete. And it happens to be an I action markup handler. Okay, I have another idea, which is what if we made this just the interface? Would that break everything? Generic must be very incompatible. We also could just not export this. Oh, that's going to break it for a different reason. Okay, well then what if we change this to be the not the concrete one? Doesn't match the expected type. What? Doesn't match expected type. Oh, because it's coming from a parent class? Well, what if we just make them all concrete? Dialog presenter base, I action markup handler. We go delete that. It's going to break something else. Did this crash? It did not crash. So yeah, what I said is true. 0/4 crashes. 1/2 crashes. All right, so if I try running this, it's going to fail somewhere. We won't even get to a crash. It just won't even build. Well, I don't know where it won't build. I want to find out. Oh, I think it's open. I just can't see it. So this needs to change. This needs to change. This and... Is that everything? I think it's everything. Let's try running it now. Nope, not everything. Does not implement interface method. Markup handler. Now can't implicitly convert in the typewriter. So the typewriter also needs the markup handlers to change. Oh boy. And that's probably going to break all of the derived classes. Yep. All right. Cool. One more. Forgot that one. Or just somehow missed it. Okay, it runs. Does this change the output? Because the repro's already using all this. The code is copied one for one. Is there a crash here? There's no crash. All right, I'll let this run a few times. Abby's meowing her brains out right now. All right, what do we do? What do myself that I'll find my bug before you find yours? Some friendly competition that I wouldn't have known about had you not said anything. What do we do? And how do we even use this information of like, if I change this to the concrete class, it doesn't crash anymore? If we change all of these to, well, it's got an I in there. Crash stops happening. How many times do we try this? 4? Hi, Penguin. I start working on a shader. I want to get back to the development I should have been doing. Yeah, I've had no luck. Yeah, so this didn't crash after 7 times. I can't trust any of what I did. I don't know if this is meaningful. Yeah, I think that's my main problem. So like, I don't know, just like thoughts about today. There are too many moving pieces for this repro that make it so that I can't isolate the code that's causing this. If I comment out, where was this? What am I thinking of? Farm game, yeah. If I comment out this and just use 0.2f directly everywhere, the crash stops happening completely. But obviously the crash isn't happening due to that at all. This makes it so that I can't really trust any change that I make. Even the workaround that I have stops the crash, but would anything have stopped the crash? I guess prevents the crash. And like, this was a significant amount of time spent on this issue. So it feels bad not to have a solution. It's also bad knowing that other people may run into this same problem, but not be able to investigate. Maybe we try with dot memory. I don't have any other ideas, right? All right, so just revert everything or shelve these two. What do I care? I action markup handler to action markup handler. Crash stops happening. Shelf. Okay, so what was the thing I just said? Oh yeah, running with dot memory. Yeah, let's go try that. Profile with memory. I don't know if we're gonna learn anything from this. So this did not crash. And I think we can just keep this tab around now. So close other tabs. We have analysis 1. Now if I click this again, we should get analysis 2. Yeah. Eventually it'll crash. Actually, that's not even a guarantee. It might not. It might be that running like this just makes it take a little bit longer or yeah, not hit this crash ever. Is this the output from this particular time? I think it is. We could know for sure based on how long it's waiting. 9.035 seconds. Yeah, so I click this again and it's not 9.035. No, I don't think it's changing this. I don't know where the output is even going. Yeah, no, it's not changing this at all. So it might be crashing and I just can't see the output. Huh. How is this? I guess it's running as a separate process. I don't know. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know where this is running, where the output goes. I mean, we could just trash this at this point. We could run from the command line and then attach to it. I mean, do I see any? We don't even have snapshots, actually. Maybe it's because it's crashing. Maybe that's why we're not getting output. Oh. Okay, so let's turn off some of this stuff. So like architect office, let's just comment all this out. And now if we get output, then we know that it was crashing every single one of those times. In which case running with dot memory is probably not helpful. I still don't get output. Oh, you don't know if it crashed or not. I'd have to log to some other file. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think this is probably gonna be a good idea. Can we figure out what these allocations were? There are no snapshots for us to analyze. Yeah. Usually there's something down here that I can click. All right. I don't think I'm using dot memory correctly from Rider. Not seeing any output, and there are no snapshots. Why do you journal? I saw someone talk about journaling as a way to look at yourself from a third person perspective. Do you feel the same way? This started out a habit of, in bigger companies, trying to keep track of what I did for performance reviews. I do not want to use Gemini. Where's the don't touch anything button? I guess got it. Spent the whole day looking into the crash. I don't think I made any meaningful progress. Key observations, controller input, spammy controller input seem to matter. Hey Malmsey, how you doing? Possibly key observation. Okay, yeah. So rest of the thoughts. Do we just give up on this? And go close my bug? Yeah, I think those are the big questions. Do I continue to work on this? If so, how am I even continuing? What am I doing? And yeah, do I close that bug that I opened? Hey, Atomic. The dopamine, though, when you find it. All right, well, one thing I might as well do, as long as I still have some AI quota here, I might as well just ask it, what's the difference between these projects? So just dismiss this. All right, let's go find it. Godot, repros, crash on exit. Okay, so I tried producing a minimal repro in this, but I can't actually repro it. What are the big differences between that and stuck in a broken tutorial? Could cause that might prevent the crash from happening. Imagine I assigned this to Kevin and he's just like, "Oh, I found the issue. It took like 5 minutes. That was a good beginner bug." Oh man. Worth a shot? No, I don't think it's worth a shot. I don't want to spin someone else up on this. I do still need to figure out the answers to these questions though. Like, am I going to spend hours more working on this? What were the other ideas that I even had? Just that it was similar to some other bugs. Yeah, I think the biggest problem that I have is what I wrote down first here. There are too many moving pieces, and I can't trust that anything I'm doing is even affecting the outcome. And for those who didn't hear me say this earlier today, but as an example, we have this file, literally the entire contents you see here. We're defining a bunch of labels and doing nothing with them. We have a ready function. This class is never used. If I were to, yeah, if I were to run this right now, I have no changes. So let's build this. And I run this, let's say twice. This will crash. And I'll prove it once just to show that it can crash. But yeah, it's going to close. It's going to crash. There it is. Handle crash. You see it right there. Okay, so that crashes. And it would crash the second time. Excuse me. But if I comment all this out, code that's never used, and then build and run this, this will never crash. I could run this 10 times. It isn't ever going to crash. And like, this should not impact anything. The fact that this can change the outcome of what is 100% crash down to a 0% crash means that any line of code I touch could change things because it's changing something, allocations or size of memory, or it's a partial class. Yeah, it's partial with a Godot node. So like it's going to have a generated script here and it's going to have some more code with it. That code should never, I shouldn't say never be run. There are some things that are like, this will get bundled into the solution. Yeah, rich text label source generated. Well, all the Godot nodes are source generated, right? It is very frustrating. Have you tried partially commenting out? Yeah, I have. And one of the weird things that we got to when we were doing that is we had 5 variables here declared. And I was like, oh, we'll figure out which one it is. It wasn't any individual one. It was the combination of any 5, which then I just set it to like 15 of these or however many there are to just test it out. So yeah, I tried every like combination of stuff and yeah, just turned out to be this. So anyway, now you can see like none of these have crashed. It doesn't say handle crash on any of these. It just says quitting the game and then it quits. So yeah, what went from 100% repro went to a 0%. And it's just so bizarre. And that's what makes this so challenging. Like, let's say you had this here and you were like, oh, one of these is causing the problem. And then you found out it's this line. It's like, well, now you can reason about why might that line be causing it. You look at the generated code, you look at what rich text label is doing. I don't know, you'd figure something out. But when changing like a print statement in a file, when changing a comment in a file, when changing a constant somewhere, when those cause the repro to stop happening, it's like, well, okay, now what do you do? How do you do this? Not to mention also being related to your controller plugged in. Yeah. So those are all the confounding factors. I need my controller plugged in. I need these things to not be commented out. I need there to be this print statement here. If any of those things aren't true, the repro just stops happening. So I don't think I can spend more time on this. So yeah, I think we probably throw in the towel. I'll just read what AI said. Input map, action processing. SIABT has a full input section with joypad motion bound. Oh, wait a second. How does that happen? Farm player. We have all the access stuff in here, right? We don't? What? Velocity? Hey, let me find this. I might have deleted it. No, there it is. Get vector. Left, right, up, down. This has some dead zone handling in it though, right? Dead zone is automatically calculated from the average of the action dead zones. You can override it to be whatever you want. What does it mean, average of the action dead zones? Did I set these? I think I might have set these. Or they're just built in by default. Where is it? UI left, UI down. Here we go. I forgot where you... Oh, here it is. Dead zone. 0.5. Okay. I wanted to see if this was doing anything. It's not. Yeah, it's not. Exactly one of those lines commented. 4-line, no crash. 5-line, yes crash. Compare both builds in the debugger. Has to be some sort of overflow, max count or something. No, I haven't. And yeah, I could even look at like the generated intermediate language code. I don't know if it would matter very much to see. Because remember, all this is interacting with Godot in the end. So it's not like it's just my executable running. It's like my program is an input to Godot, sort of, I guess. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the thing about input. Yeah. Has no input section. Only calls get current node. Dialog lifecycle. Does one runner start, later stop, then free and quit. Repro does start stop, then start dialog start. I'll need to look at this too. By the way, please try to watch the segmenting Cyber and Viber. Is the game large as of now in the sense you've done a good bunch as far as development? No, not really. It's been about 2 months. No, I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind. Um, this is not like annoying backseating. Let me put it that way. I think I had it happen once where I was typing out like a function. I don't know. I imagine like private void do something, and someone in chat was kind of trying to like steer me line by line, and I was like, I don't need this level of backseating. I don't mind when people chime in. Yeah, thank you, Cyber and Viber. Yeah. I think the challenging thing with this is that just there are a lot of things that I've tried. There's been a lot of context. It's not like I'm just experiencing this problem for the first time. Yeah. Yeah, this scene and resource scale could actually be one of these issues too. Like maybe we just need a bunch of nodes with a bunch of C# scripts. Could be the case. Yeah. Audio bus config, font settings, explicit window size and scale, input bindings. There's a warm-up happening in here? Where is that? This shouldn't be here for sure. Yeah, this shouldn't be here for sure. I think we got rid of it over here. We just call runner.start dialog, and we don't await it. Stop. Yeah, well, I guess whether or not we await it here doesn't matter because the other call isn't going to await it. Let's try this now. I need to build this. Where's the crash code? Here it is. All right, let's run this like 3 times. Oops. There. Check if this happens on Windows. No, I haven't checked. Yeah. Yeah. Well, AI debugging it or creating a repro is different from it telling me just like what are the differences. Because like, yeah, I can see these differences myself too. And then figure out, is it meaningful? But yeah, I think we go post in the issue just that I couldn't figure anything out. Compared to a previous version of Godot. I tried 4.6 point something and it failed, but I didn't try anything earlier than that. Yeah. I am just going to go file my... I spent all day investigating this. But unfortunately, I don't think I made any real progress. It feels like I'm admitting failure. I mean, I am, but it feels like I'm a failure. I guess that's the difference. One thing to say I have failed at this task. It's another to be like, I am defined by my failure. I am not defined by this. There are some observations that I made. Yeah, for one, I have a Nintendo Switch Pro controller connected to my computer. I think its dead zones are, well, actually, it's not even really, I don't know. I think something is misconfigured about the dead zones since it spams input functions with, what is it? Input joy motion something, input joy pad. What is it called? Joypad motion? Input event joypad motion. That's what I'm looking for. Seemingly unrelated and innocuous code somehow has an impact on this repro. For example, I have a C# file that is completely unused, but still exists in the csproj file, but is still bundled via the csproj file. Commenting out its contents turns a 100% repro into a 0% repro. Similarly, this happens when I comment out, let's see, other one of these farm game. Exhaustion, energy depletion. What do I call this thing? This. When I, yeah. What was the other observation that I had? The controller, the print, and the commenting app. Yeah, I kind of bundled it all up here. Yeah, I think I'm at an impasse. I'm going to give up. Feel free to close this bug. Well, I should just close it, right? Should I? I don't know. I always feel like it should be on the maintainers to close a bug so that they're not like, oh, I was investigating that and now it's closed. All right. Well, whatever. There we go. All right. I am leaving and I'm very bummed. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but it'll just be a half day. I think I'm going to spend a little bit of time off stream looking into this, just poking around at it. But yeah. Thanks for watching, everybody. Sorry there isn't a happy ending for this. And yeah, hopefully I'm feeling better tomorrow. But yeah, take care, everyone.